Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your betting game by hitting that subscribe button and ensure you never miss out on our daily content. Want exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join our Patreon. Links are waiting for you in the comment section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. The Milwaukee Bucks find themselves in a pivotal position against the struggling Toronto Raptors, aiming to regain some momentum despite being without Damian Lillard, who's sidelined with a concussion. Milwaukee, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, sees this matchup as a solid opportunity to build confidence against a Raptors squad currently battling offensive issues. Toronto's recent struggles are evident as they're on a 4-game losing streak, averaging just 108 points per game during this skid. Moreover, the Raptors are still winless on the road this season, with an average losing margin of minus 9.2 points over 6 games away from home. Giannis is expected to lead the charge, potentially building on his impressive 43-point performance in his previous outing. Prediction: Milwaukee Bucks minus 6.5. Given the Raptors' offensive woes and road struggles, expect the Bucks to cover the spread in this one. As for the total, the line of 227.5 points seems ambitious considering Toronto's recent offensive inefficiency, ranking 24th in the league in offensive efficiency at 109.8 points per 100 possessions. Without Lillard, Milwaukee's offense is also somewhat diminished. Even their last game, when Giannis put up 43 points, the Bucks managed a modest team total of 107. Over their last 8 games, Milwaukee has averaged just 107.5 points per contest, surpassing 120 points only once. Expecting a lower scoring game, Milwaukee should cover while keeping the combined score under. Prediction: under 227.5 points. The Bucks should secure the win with a scoring effort around 115 points, keeping the game comfortably under the total. The Phoenix Suns head into Utah with confidence, having swept the Jazz in their 4 matchups last season. Despite being banged up and losing their 7-game win streak when Kevin Durant sat out, the Suns still managed to put up a strong offensive showing, with 3 of their starters scoring over 20 points in their last game. Phoenix's recent 111-point performance against the Kings, who rank 18th in defense, indicates they can likely score well against Utah, whose defense currently ranks 26th. Meanwhile, Utah's offense has struggled, with no player averaging above 17 points per game, and they're still searching for consistency. The Jazz have gone 0-4 straight up and 1-3 against the spread at home this season, with those losses by an average of 17 points. Prediction: Phoenix Suns minus 3.5 points. With their depth and offensive firepower, the Suns are well positioned to cover the spread. In terms of the total, last season's head-to-head matchups between these two teams saw an average of 252.5 points per game. While Utah is currently one of the lower-scoring teams, they maintain a respectable 17th in possessions per game, 102.8, while Phoenix ranks 15th, 103.2. The Suns have demonstrated consistent shooting even without Durant, and Utah, despite their offensive struggles, has been finding their rhythm. With both teams pushing the pace and the overhitting in 4 straight meetings between them, this game is primed for high scoring. Prediction: over 231.5 points. Look for a fast-paced matchup with plenty of shot attempts and scoring from both sides. Both the Golden State Warriors and Dallas Mavericks head into this matchup after a tough weekend, likely feeling the effects of back-to-back games. Despite the efforts of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, Golden State has the edge here, especially coming off an impressive win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Recent history suggests a tight contest, as 9 of the last matchups between these teams have been decided by 10 points or fewer. Last season, Dallas took 3 out of 4 games against Golden State, but the Warriors won 2 of 3 the season before that. Golden State has been solid against the spread, covering in 8 of their first 10 games this season, and boasting a strong 7-1 record on equal rest with their opponent. By contrast, Dallas is 4-5-1 against the spread and 3-4-1 in non-division matchups, which makes Golden State the more reliable pick. Prediction: Warriors minus 1.5 points. Golden State's consistent performance against the spread and resilience in close games give them an advantage here. As for the game total, Golden State has underwhelmed somewhat on offense at home, averaging 110.7 points per game, ranking 9th in the NBA. The Mavericks have also shown inconsistency in their scoring, with their 114.0 points per game placing the mid-pack at 16th. The Warriors have hit the over in 70% of their games, but are only 1-2 on home overs, while Dallas has gone under in 6 of their last 10 games, particularly struggling to hit the over with only 1 day off between games. Prediction: under 230.5 points. Both teams' recent scoring trends and fatigue from back-to-back games suggest a lower scoring affair. The Minnesota Timberwolves and Portland Trail Blazers are set to face off once again, and the Timberwolves will look to replicate their dominant performance from the last meeting between these teams. In their previous matchup, Minnesota controlled the game from start to finish, showcasing their superior depth and offensive versatility. Led by rising star Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves are coming off a disappointing loss to the Miami Heat, where they struggled to find their offensive rhythm. This game against Portland presents an ideal opportunity for Edwards and the Timberwolves to bounce back and re-establish themselves. The Trail Blazers, on the other hand, have had a challenging season so far, with struggles on both ends of the court. Offensively, Portland has found it difficult to maintain scoring consistency, especially from beyond the arc, which has limited their ability to keep up with higher-scoring opponents. Their defensive issues have been even more concerning, as they currently rank among the league's worst in three-point defense, allowing opponents to make over 15 three-pointers per game on average. This weakness could be particularly problematic against Minnesota, one of the NBA's best three-point shooting teams. In their previous matchup, the Timberwolves exploited this vulnerability, hitting an impressive 22 shots from deep. If Portland is unable to adjust and tighten up their perimeter defense, they could be in for another long night against Minnesota sharpshooters. Prediction: Minnesota Timberwolves minus 7.5 points. Given the Trail Blazers' defensive struggles, especially against three-point shooting, Minnesota is in strong position to cover the spread and extend their control over this matchup. The Timberwolves' ability to shoot efficiently from outside and Portland's inability to defend the perimeter make this a favorable setup for a convincing Minnesota win. Turning to the over-under, the previous game between these teams went over the projected total, and there's reason to believe this game will follow a similar trajectory. While the Timberwolves scored just 94 points against Miami, the Trail Blazers' defense presents a much easier challenge. Minnesota should be able to find a better offensive flow and put up a higher score. Portland also has some young, dynamic scorers capable of contributing offensively. Even if they struggle defensively, players like Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe have the potential to chip in enough points to keep this game competitive on the scoreboard. Their scoring, combined with Minnesota's likely offensive resurgence, points to a higher scoring contest. Prediction: over 218.5 points. With Portland's defensive gaps and Minnesota's potential for a bounce-back performance, expect both teams to contribute enough offensively for the total to go over. The Timberwolves' three-point shooting and Portland's lack of defensive consistency could lead to a fast-paced, high-scoring affair.